Okay, Kelly, welcome. Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you. This is my last in my current series of conversations with marketers that inspire me. And this is actually turned out to be today the one I'm most nervous about for a few reasons. Yeah, she's smiling now. I thought it'd be really fitting to end this series with you, Kelly, because you were my first boss. Um, a long time ago. And if there's anyone that's pushed me out of my comfort zone over the last 20 years, it's been you. And we prepped for this and we have agreed that we are absolutely not talking about mountain climbing, horse racing, spas, weekends, weddings. This is just purely 20 minutes of our marketing career
Spoiling my
conversation.
fun to tell the world all your secrets.
And I have the end broadcast button. So
You do. I'll behave myself.
thanks, and I will as well. So we've got loads to talk about our careers and what we've done. But it was actually about this time of year, July, when I was looking for a placement in my third year of university, and you took me on as a marketing exec.
Yeah, so it was 19. No, what year was it? 90. Go on,
7,
shock me. No way.
7,
Was it that long ago? That's a very
97 to
long time ago.
98. Yeah,
So much has changed, hasn't it, since then?
it
Yeah.
has. It
You
has.
you walked through the doors to my office. I
Yeah.
think you had a hangover the day you came in for your interview, I seem to remember. But we'll gloss over that.
I did have a
Very
part-time job in a bar as well as working with you during the day.
Yeah, you
Just
played
to
hard
add.
and you worked hard. That's very true.
Yeah.
And we had the glamorous job of marketing and promoting microscopes and software for microscopy. It's just so glamorous, wasn't it?
It was, but it's what you make it. And we had lots of tasks to do, and I remember, we had email. I think it was quite a new thing. I think us as marketers, we had email, but not everyone in the office had email. There was
Yes,
certain, yeah. I think we shared it, didn't we? And we had the
sharing. I
gadgets.
can imagine that now.
Yeah, we had gadgets. There was no social media. Wasn't even anything we'd have ever thought about.
No.
We spent most of our time that year creating brochures, press releases. You made me build an access database of
I
contacts. I
I've done
remember.
horrible things to you over the time. It was such fun because marketing then was a proper craft, wasn't it? So, we
Yeah,
were lucky because with the microscopy images, we had some brilliant artwork to work with, as dry a subject as it might have been. But
yeah,
um, we had the opportunity to work on international marketing with lots of different markets. And I remember the marketing communications meeting in Zurich, and that was such a brilliant start to our careers to have that grounding.
yeah.
And then the fear of signing off a very expensive litho print on the most exotic stock we could find. Wouldn't be allowed to do that anymore, would we?
Oh, we did have quite free reign, didn't we? We were, foil blocking and print and varnishing, and I remember you took me for my first trip round of printers, and they let us kind of climb up on the
Yeah.
print and see the colours and the ink and smell it. But yeah, I mean, I think probably one of the biggest skills was proofreading, wasn't it? Spending hours proofreading because
Your
you had to
initials on
sign it off.
every page, having to put
Yeah,
your initials on every page to sign something off, and yeah, that fear that you'd missed a typo.
and you would dream the typos, wouldn't you? You could almost see it in your sleep that there was a typo. I found, not that I'm a hoarder, but I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I found this. We created so much tat.
Do you remember the thing you had about fluffy bugs? You absolutely went on one on fluffy bugs. I remember
and you,
tail that.
and you never let me have them, but on your first day in your next job, there was a huge bin bag full of fluffy bugs, and I got the blame, and it was nothing to do with me.
You and the fluffy bugs, yeah, that's
Yeah,
going back.
yeah,
And
you
then you
got
went
to do
back
the
to
travel.
university.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Sorry, no, you got to do the travel. I got to stay in the office, but that was great. Yeah, I went back for my final year, and you
Yeah,
left. We both left on the same day, though.
we did because I couldn't bear to do it without you. That is that. I think if we knew now, if we knew then what we know now, we probably have just gone straight into and built our own agency, wouldn't we? We'd have done things very differently.
I think we probably would, but we still wouldn't work on a Friday afternoon.
No, still don't
no,
work on Friday afternoon. That's not true. I work into Friday evening now, so that doesn't happen anymore. Sadly, I've grown up now.
But it was a good lesson. Try and not do too much on a Friday afternoon.
Maybe we invented flexible working.
Maybe. But since we both left on the same day, yes, I did go back to uni for a year, but I think our careers have kind of crossed paths quite a lot in terms of the sectors we've worked in and what we've done.
Yeah, we have done similar sectors actually, haven't we? So education, travel, and where I've ended up now, I suppose you had the Living Well account.
Yeah, I did health club marketing for 6-7 years.
Kind of ironic because you've never actually been to the gym, have you? Let's be honest.
No, you did try and make me once, twice. But I know all the reasons and the benefits. So, you don't have to be a consumer of the products that you market.
All of my communicating, all of my messages went in at some point. So that's interesting. So I've just had a huge change of career. So I spent 16 years as managing director for Meet Cambridge.
Yeah.
My role there was very much focused on destination marketing and bringing events of every type and every size to the beautiful city of Cambridge. So we welcomed dinners, lunches, conferences, meetings, weddings, funerals, bar mitzvahs, hitchhikers. You named it.
In the most beautiful location. So I probably should share, if anyone doesn't know, I'm from Cambridge originally, so that's where I was on my placement year living at home, but I didn't return. But
we had a beautiful portfolio to look after of 70 venues and promoting the Cambridge colleges. So it was a wonderful job and actually very hard to leave and a very difficult decision to leave, and just felt that I needed a new challenge really after 16 years. So yes, what a time to jump ship.
So you had actually applied and got the job before lockdown, but then started a new job during lockdown. And I've spoken to quite a few marketers actually who have started new roles during lockdown, and starting any job I don't think is ever easy, no matter how long you're in it, but especially when you're in it for 16 years. But I know your role's not just marketing now, but what was it like starting something new in lockdown?
So it's been really strange, but in many ways I feel very lucky because it's afforded me the opportunity to spend time with everybody in the organisation and properly understand objectives and strategy and just have that thinking time really. I say I had thinking time, that's not true. I've been so busy. But I haven't properly met most of the team in person yet. I've had one socially distanced walk, which is quite strange because people are more colourful in person, you realise, than they are on a Zoom. It's quite strange coming into an organisation where I know nothing about sport, I know nothing about charities, so very much on a steep learning curve. But the team that I've joined are incredible, and I couldn't have been made to feel more welcome, and they've been so generous with their time and getting me up to speed, and I think that's probably so that I can take some of the workload off them as quickly as possible. But I'm trying to. Even stranger today, this is my half hour off. I'm interviewing for my team. And it's even more strange being the person doing the interviewing than being the interviewee actually. And then the sort of managing a team for potentially the next 6 months plus remotely. It's very different landscape, but exciting.
I'm glad we didn't have to work remotely.
No,
that would have been really difficult, but we didn't have the technologies we do now to even think that was an option.
No, a different world. And I think it's really important, and we're trying as a team to take the time out of our working day and working meetings to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And that's quite hard when it's not forced, but you know, you sit down for half an hour at the end of the day with a glass of wine to just have a chat. It's quite hard to just start that. It's quite complicated. So yeah, it brings its own challenges, but so far it's been absolutely brilliant, and I'm really happy that I made the change.
Good. So when we prepped for this, because we did have to do some prep for this, we talked about our careers, which have been 20 years, but we both spent time in agencies, and we kind of talked about how starting or having part of your marketing career in an agency is such a huge learning ground, and one that we both really value having done.
Yeah, I think having that grounding when you're working with graphic designers and art workers and illustrators and print as it was, it gives you a really thorough, in-depth understanding of the process. But I also think going through that strategic process with so many different types of businesses in so many different sectors, from a theory side of things, you become really quite sharp at honing in on objectives and, you know, why are we doing this? What's the point? What do we want to achieve? What are our outcomes? And I think you have that drilled into you in an agency, because it is all about the results. And I think over 20-25 years, that evaluation and the measuring and the ROI has become absolutely critical for every pound of marketing spend. So yeah, I think it was really good grounding. And I did it for 7-8 years, and I loved it. It was exhausting because I don't know about, I think you did travel as much as I did, but fantastic national accounts and the opportunity to work on some brilliant projects. So yeah, it was good grounding.
I think you just learn so much, don't you? And it's the processes that it's so documented and considered, because you have to go back and explain it to someone and sell it in and justify why you're doing things that way, and then you've got to measure the results and present that back as well. And I remember, if we wrote a brief in less than a day, we were told we hadn't spent enough time on it. We had to spend the time. It couldn't just go into the studio or get started on the exciting bits. You had to spend the time doing the research and the writing and the thinking about what was going to happen.
You get shouted at if somebody says, "Can you give me a logo that looks like this?" No, that's not how we do it. So I think that thoroughness is really good grounding for a career in marketing.
Yeah, but then I think it's completely different in-house as well, because I know that when I went in-house, I missed the agency way of working, and that everyone was kind of in it together and seeing different things, even if it wasn't your project. And when you're a lone marketer in-house, it's completely different, because you're the only one that's doing what you're doing, and there's other people doing very operational things or finance things and other stuff that just isn't in your world. It was completely different.
It doesn't stop them having opinions.
No, everyone's no, we won't talk about that, because we are being recorded. Yes, everyone. It's good to have people involved, but at the same time,
it is a challenge. Back is welcome.
Yes, marketing, being a marketer. But what else do you remember about our first job? What do you remember about the start of our careers? What would we do differently?
We had a fantastic boss.
Yes.
Do you remember Morris? He was lovely.
Yes.
And he was so he just gave us free rein to grow and to learn and to get things wrong and revise and review. We were really given an opportunity to learn there. I remember that.
Yeah. He just, no idea was stupid, was it? It was just thought through and presented. And he did also let me raid the stationery cupboard before I went back to university and take whatever I needed to last me for a year.
You and your
And I do also remember, because I was thinking about this morning, that we didn't just have a print button or a photocopier in the room. We had to go through to that print photocopying room.
Yeah.
No, there was a guy in there. I can't remember his name, but you had to go through to get your documents print and bound and pre-book time if we were creating packs for
Yes.
events and things like that. So I think the pace, there was still as much work to do, but the pace was different to now.
I think we had longer lead times on everything. Everything was scheduled and we had advance notice. It wasn't, as you say, as immediate. And I think without digital and social, it was very different. It was, yeah, as you say, it was a much slower pace.
Yeah, you could write a plan and implement the plan and it didn't change every
No,
minute or
and
every day.
like, I mean, particularly now, it feels like the ground is shifting beneath you as you're planning something. You have to be so agile and adapt as you go, don't you? And that's something, I guess, that's different now
Yeah.
to when we started. That you have to be adaptable. You have to flex.
And we didn't really need to have IT and tech skills either. You know, we could just do what we did without having to know how to build things or code things. Or I know I tried to do some design, but I wasn't really cut out for for doing that with the software to us.
We weren't allowed to touch the website.
No, we wouldn't have been. So agency was cool, client side was cool, getting to work with lots of different people and sectors. But the other reason I wanted to share this story is and talk to you on this live is because I get to speak to lots of students at different universities and talk about my career. And actually when I set up as a consultant my own business 9 years ago, you were my first referral as well. So you went from being my boss on my placement year to being the person that helped me start my business. You helped me start my business, and I talk about the value of keeping in touch with people, letting them know what you're doing all the time, what you're working on, what you're thinking, because that's how business is done. We have worked together several times over the years, but yeah, to get a referral from someone that was your boss, I think it was like 18 years ago at that time, was amazing.
Oh, but who else was I going to send them to? Because you're the best. You're the best at what you do. So that's
you wanted me back.
You know, networks are absolutely everything, aren't they? The people that you meet on your journey through your career, and I'm still so lucky that I work with people who were my gurus when I was a rookie, and they're still my go-to people for counsel and advice. So hugely valuable, and some of them have been retired for some time now, and I still admire them. So and I think we're blessed to have platforms like LinkedIn that make it possible to stay in touch with people over time as your career changes and switches channel and it grows. And I think it's really important to not burn bridges and to take everyone with you.
And then you get to know, you trust your network as well, don't you? Because I know that we've swapped contacts, I need someone to do this, who have you worked with? And, so the power of that throughout the years, I think is hugely valuable.
Word of mouth, definitely still the winning mechanism.
Yeah, it is, and that is what's so lovely about the conversations that I've been able to have with people that I've worked with and stayed in touch with. And it is all about the know, like and trust factor. So Kelly, we've done 20 minutes. We've done it.
Wow.
A huge thank you for doing this.
I think back.
We are quits now. I can't wait to see you when we can get out of lockdown and arrange one of our trips or to do something exciting. Thank you if you have watched this session live. Anita, I'm in lockdown. I haven't worn any nice shoes for at least 4 months now, but I am looking after them all nicely, because Anita has commented on that and said, yes, you were harsh making me do a database. Thank you to everyone that's done this first series with me, to Lee, Bryony, Jonathan, Dave, Sarah, Azif, Jenny and Penny. I hope it's been useful, some tips for people, a bit of insight into different marketers' worlds. I will speak to you soon. Thank you.
Take care. See you soon. Bye.